Mega Delphox won the big first online major in Pokemon Champions, and we're going to be trying out Mega Delphox, a Pokemon that was not happy when it was announced its ability for Levitate, as a lot of players were hoping to use it on Side Spam with Expanding Force. When it got Levitated, it was not a great moment for them. However, it is a pretty solid ability, and a lot of balanced players saw potential in Mega Delphox, and we were able to see it win a tournament. So we're going to break down that team and try it out. This is the Mega Delphox team that was able to win the first huge online tournament of Pokemon Champions. Let's break it down. First Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Delphox, and Mega Delphox is a very interesting Mega Evolution. Its HP and defense are still not that great, however when it Mega Evolves, it gets a special attack boost, a special defense boost, and a speed boost that are pretty solid. Base 159 special attack is really high, base 125 special defense is actually pretty fantastic, and 134 speed, which is pretty crucial because it is able to outspeed Mega Gengar, one of the biggest threats. And speaking of the three most popular Megas currently, they usually involve Mega Gengar, Mega Charizard Y, and Mega Floette. And Mega Delphox is actually pretty decent into all three of them, especially into Gengar, where it can just outspeed Mega Gengar and just one-shot it with Psychic. And then the other two, Mega Delphox with its high special defense of base 125 is just able to take the attacks resisted and then throw off pretty powerful like Heat Waves and Psychics into those Pokemon. So it's actually not a bad Mega Evolution. It's also faster than, again, Mega Gengar, Aerodactyl. Those are some of the most the fastest Pokemon in the format. It outspeeds Sneasler and just one-shots it with Psychic, assuming it's not the Focus Sash variant. It is actually really impressive for what it can do. And Levitate actually helps out a lot here because Garchomp is one of the most important Pokemon currently in the format. So having the ability to have the Psychic for the Garchomp is really nice. And we have this spread here. It's pretty simple. It just wants to take capitalization off, just being able to be invested with speed and special attack. It is max speed and max special attack to dish out as much damage as possible. You are able to outspeed the Mega Gengars, and I'm assuming it's just for like any other like or any other Choice Scarf mods that might like speed creep the Mega Gengar and Aerodactyls by like 1 or 2 points. You just go with max speed because why not at that point? And then the moveset is just going to be Heat Wave for that spread fire type attack. Psychic, which again, really nice there for the Mega Gengar and a bunch of others. Substitute and Protect. And Substitute is actually a pretty nice option because if you're playing against a Kingambit, you do threaten them with Heat Wave, yet Sucker Punch is going to threaten you. So having Mega Delphox be able to have a Substitute is nice in some situations, especially against passive play, which is really great. If they try to protect and switch to reposition, you get a Substitute up, and then Mega Delphox, which is a frail mod on the physical side, will have a barrier of protection. And also Substitute does allow you to be able to take sometimes like Heat Waves as well as Dazzling Gleams, and the Substitute isn't broken from like those really powerful Mega Evolutions that we talked about earlier. So it's a really cool option on Mega Delphox. Next Pokemon we have is going to be Basculegion, and this team did revolve around a pretty common core that was in Regulation H, which was the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet competitive format, where we had Basculegion, Sneasler, Kingambit, and usually a Follow Me mon, and sometimes it was Clefable. So this is where this team actually originates from. And Basculegion is just a really strong mon because of the fact that one, it has the ability Adaptability, which is able to increase the same type of attack bonuses. Normally you would get a 50% boost. It actually doubles it in response. So it's really strong, and especially as an endgame cleaner with Last Respect, a ghost type move that starts off with 15 base power, but every time one of your allies gets knocked out, it increases the power even further by 50 base points every single time. So after 1 KO, it's 100 base power. After 2 KOs, it's 150 base power, and then of course if Basculegion is the final mon, gonna be a 200 base power move. And then you think about it with adaptability, yeah, that really adds up and stacks. So it's able to do a ton of damage. Wave Crash, of course, able to threaten the fire types that the Delphox might not be able to hit as hard, of course. And Fast Flip Turn is really nice with the Delphox combination, because it is able to do quite a bit, chip away, maybe break potential Focus Sash, and then Delphox can pick up the knockout. You still want to run Aqua Jet on a Scarf Basculegion because a lot of its other moves aren't exactly that great. Like it has Ice Fang, it doesn't kill Garchomp, and you're not clicking it most of the time. So just having that extra priority option to play around like Kingambit, Sucker Punch is actually pretty nice. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Clefable, which is an awesome fairy type redirector, which is super valuable in this format because there aren't that many redirectors. with the Unaware ability, which is a really nice ability because it's able to make Clefable immune to any of the stat changes on your opponent's side. This includes like boosted attacks from Swords Dance and Calm Mind. They'll be doing neutral damage, but of course, like if they did have any stat drops, then that would be ignored as well. That includes you going for damage into it as well. Like for instance, if you're going for a Moonblast into a -1 special defense Sneasler after close combat drop, you'll still be doing neutral damage. But of course, if you're facing a boosted opponent with a +1 special defense, Moonblast will still do neutral damage as if it was like at neutral +0. So it is a double-edged ability. However, it works pretty well because it's not like most of your Pokemon have a way to lower the stats on your opponent's side. So it just really helps out with those stat increases. Follow Me, of course, just being able to redirect and support the Kingambit especially, as well as the Delphox. You have the Moonblast, which is pretty solid as a strong same type attack bonus attack. You have the Helping Hand just to power up the damage even further from your ally, and then Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread here, just going simple, max HP and max defense. There's like Pokemon like Garchomp, Kingambit, Sneasler, Dire Claw that you really want to be able to survive. You just want to be able to take those physical attacks really well. And another note on why Clefable is really good for this team, not only is it good for support, of course, with the redirection in general, especially with your Swords Dance, Kingambit, and the Delphox, of course. But one thing that's important is that it's really good into opposing Swords Dance on the Kingambits and some of the Kingambits that do drop Iron Head, because then they usually only have like Dark type moves or the low kick move, and those are not able to damage Clefable. So Clefable can wall certain Kingambits depending on their set, which actually makes it really valuable to support Delphox especially. Next Pokemon we have is a pretty standard Swords Dance Kingambit. Not much to say, it is just max attack and max HP for the bulk. Kingambit, fantastic Pokemon in this format. It's just able to tank attacks with its really high base HP and defenses, and its attack stat is pretty solid with the Define ability that gives it a +2 attack boost every time that its stat is lowered, so that is incredible. And Kowtow, Cleave, Swords Dance are really strong Dark type moves. You have Swords Dance on top of that in order to boost the Kingambit's attack even further, making it a potential really effective sweeper with that priority Sucker Punch threat especially, and Protect to keep itself around. Not much to say about Kingambit. It's a really strong mon in this format. It's really great into the ghost types that threaten the Mega Delphox, and it is able to just be able to fire off some pretty good damage. Not really much to say. It can sweep teams on its own depending on the situation, especially after a Swords Dance boost or two. It's really good into those ghost types that threaten Delphox, but also one that Sneasler can't hit, but also the fact that you want to scare away Intimidate from your Sneasler, so it can actually just threaten damage with close combat. And of course, it does help out because it makes Incineroar not want to lead as much because of the fact that it will give the Kingambit a boost, which means that Delphox might not have to worry about Incineroar as often. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Focus Sash Sneasler, a really strong mon in this format. It's not too surprising, and it is just able to threaten a ton of damage. With the close combat, especially having fighting coverage is really necessary in this format, where Kingambit is super strong, and the poison coverage as well that's able to hit the fairy types, especially that Mega Floette, Mega Gardevoir, and more. So Dire Claw close combat, absolutely fantastic. Fake Out, of course, really great support, especially for Fake Out Swords Dance with your Kingambit, or Fake Out plus Substitute, or Fake Out plus Attack in general from your Mega Delphox, and Protect to keep itself around. Unburden is a great ability in this format because of the fact that if you consume your Focus Sash with Sneasler, and often you will because Sneasler is not exactly the bulkiest mon in the format, then you get a double speed boost, which is incredible because it allows Sneasler to outspeed a lot of threats afterwards. So that is the idea of Sneasler. It is able to threaten Pokemon like that Incineroar that can be annoying for both Delphox and Kingambit, as well as those fairy types, which of course, since you're not running Steel move on the Kingambit, can be a little bit annoying to damage, especially since a lot of the fairy types do generally have really high special defense stats. So it's really able to complement this team pretty well with that simple jolly nature, just to be able to outspeed pretty much anything below it, especially like Garchomp, which is a pretty big one, as well as like Mousehold, which could be a little bit annoying depending on the set it is, but it is able to put on a lot of pressure with a fast close combat or Dire Claw. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be Dragonite. And what's interesting about Dragonite is it was a very common Pokemon in Regulation H. However, for those of you kind of new to it, we had the item called Loaded Dice back then. And what Loaded Dice did, it made Scale Shot a move that is a multi-hit move. It can hit anywhere between 2 to 5 times. And then afterward, it would lower the defense stat by 1 stage, but increase the speed stat by 1 stage, it actually made Dragonite a really annoying Pokemon to handle, especially with the loaded dice, which made you guaranteed to hit 4 to 5 times. Now, we don't have loaded dice in the current format, so that's actually kind of a big situation. So yeah, this Dragonite is actually running Lumberry, but still running Scale Shot. We're rolling the dice with this Dragonite. I'm not sure how well this is going to go, but we are going to be rolling the dice with Dragonite with Scale Shot because it's such a broken move, and Dragonite otherwise it gets outraged, but it's not really that worth it unless you have a choice band set, and the other Dragon type moves aren't exactly that great on Dragonite, or at least the physical side. You have Extreme Speed for the priority to pick up weakened foes, which is nice against like Aerodactyl, any Focus Sash models like Sneasler, and more. And then Haze. And you might be thinking, why Haze in this format? Well, there are a bunch of random status in general, but one of the big things about Haze, which can be really nice, I think, applied to this team, is, again, there is Intimidate, so you can haze away your defense drops from the Scale Shot if you need it. You could haze away any drops from the Sneasler as well, like any Intimidates especially. But one, I think, really nice one is because Incineroar can potentially just Parting Shot out the Delphox, and maybe because you set up a Substitute, you're not wanting to switch out, so you're just kind of stuck with the Delphox at -1 behind the Substitute. But Haze kind of solves that problem because you can go for Haze onto the field, remove any stat changes, and then Delphox can actually go for a lot of damage because now it is back to neutral in its stats. It can also be nice into Calm Mind stuff like the Mega Floette if they're like super situational setup, as well as like, again, any other setups like Dondozo, if Dondozo ever appears in the format, I suppose. It is just a solid move all around. And then ability, of course, with Dragonite is the multi-scale, which is just such a great ability because it has the damage that Dragonite takes while at full HP, which means that Dragonite pretty much doesn't go down in the first hit, which is really impressive. So it can usually always get a Scale Shot and then just be able to pressure, again, more damage to Haze and stick around. So how to use the team? Well, there are quite a few different ways you can play with this team, especially with the leads, but I'd say there are quite a few different options. You can go with the Sword Stance Kingambit mode, where if your opponent is weak to the Sword Stance Kingambit, then you can go for the Sword Stance with Kingambit next to like Follow Me from the Clefable immediately. So you can go for Follow Me Sword Stance, redirect attacks from Kingambit, and then start threatening the damage with the Kowtower Sucker Punch. Or you could lead something with the Sneasler Kingambit with the Fake Out Sword Stance option. Those are definitely some pretty solid leads. You also have like just immediate offense that you could go for. With, for instance, the Sneasler, again, a really solid lead next to Delphox because he can still go for like a Fake Out Substitute lead, for example. Or you could just go straight on the offense with like Close Combat, Dire Claw, Fake Out, plus an attack from the Delphox. That is also a pretty good option. You can also lead Dragonite. Dragonite's a pretty good lead because it doesn't go down to most of the attacks thanks to its multi-scale ability. So you could go for like Scale Shot, get some chip damage, hopefully get a few good hits, and then go for another, which is pretty solid as well, and just be able to chip away the opponent for being put into range of like Sucker Punch or attacks from the Basculegion, Sneasler, or Delphox. Basculegion can be a really good lead because it can just go for a flip turn immediately into one of your bulky Pokemon and just break any Focus Sashes, for example, so that it can clean up in the endgame with the Last Respect when it comes out after the allies have been eliminated. You also can pair Basculegion with like Delphox lead, which is pretty nice. You also have like Basculegion plus the Kingambit, Basculegion plus Sneasler. Basculegion next to Kingambit can go for like Sword Stance plus flip turn into like Clefable or Sneasler, for example. There's quite a few different ways that you can approach it, but I would say your main offense is going to be through Delphox and going to be through the Kingambit, while the Sneasler, Clefable are going to pull some supports, and the Basculegion, usually you want to try to position it to either get really good early game damage and usually try to clean up in the late game with the Last Respect option. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, there'll be a link to the description down below. And I will say for a note that I kept changing the team throughout because the rental code I didn't know was released until after I already had played the games with the team. So I did have some slight spreads and I did change it. And I think Jolly Bask is actually pretty nice now because Mega Delphox is kind of picked up in general. It's more common, I'd say. So having the Jolly Bask might be worth it just to outspeed opposing Mega Delphox as well. And the Gengars too. So definitely worth a consideration. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games. All right, we have Tyranitar, Floette, with Basculegion, Sinistra, Dragonite, and Sneasler. All right, this is going to be kind of a pain to deal with. I assume it's White Herb on the Sneasler if they have Tyranitar because you don't want to have Focus Sash with Sneasler. It's also interesting that they have Dragonite with T-Tar as well. Is it Inner Focus? Maybe. All right, I think Sneasler is pretty good here. Sneasler plus Delphox is a pretty good general combination. I like Scarf Basculegion Last Respect because they don't have any Last Respect switch-ins, and then probably the Clef. So I have Redirection. It's also pretty good against my opponent's team. My own Dragonite, it does well against Sneasler, but I don't really need a counter to opposing Sneasler when I'm bringing Basculegion Delphox. And I don't really need Kingambit because Kingambit against a bunch of Dark Resist is not really worth it. So I think these are the best 4. Was this the best order? Maybe not, but we'll see. Sneasler plus the Tyranitar. So this is probably the best case lead, realistically. I'm losing my Sash. My opponent's also losing the Sash. I kind of don't want to play passive here. I think my best play is just to fake out the Tyranitar and go for sub. Actually, no. They have no Psychic switch in. Actually, no. Sub makes sense here because if they switch out the Tyranitar... they could protect the Sneasler. Well, they would probably fake out if that's the case. I'm just going to sub here. I could see Basculegion swap for the T-Tar, but the T-Tar did not swap. It could be Choppleberry, I suppose. Maybe it's Choppleberry, but we'll find out. We could be just trading fake outs here, which I assume is actually decently likely, but we'll find out. Mega Tyranitar. They've had to gone for the fake out speed tie, I'm pretty sure. And even if they get the fake out speed tie, I'm not in a losing position at all. Yeah, I get the fake out off. Did they fake out my Sneasler? I'm like pretty sure they did. Yeah. I am Jolly Max speed, so I was willing to go for it. But even then, like, let's say they clicked Rock Slide or Crunch into Delphox. I lose my substitute. Now I'm in a phenomenal spot. I have a free sub up against the Sneasler, which can't have Sash, or if it has Sash, it's broken. And now I can go for really offensive plays here with Close Combat plus a Psychic here. Yeah, they're in a really, really rough spot now. They have no switch into Psychic. We know that Floet's not in the back, so I don't have to worry about that mon. I can just go for Psychic into Sneasler, because even if they go into, like, Sinistra... I guess if they have Sinistra, they could go Sinistra, and if they have the Sash, sure. But they still lose their... Okay, they go out into Basque, which makes sense. Psychic going to come out into the Sneasler, takes a knockout. Beautiful. So Sneasler goes down, and then... Do I need my Delphox much anymore? Not really. Delphox's main role was to beat the Sneasler. But we'll see what comes out here. Because I could go Clef, but Last Respect Rock Slide would hurt. Oh, they go Dragonite instead. Okay. For Tailwind? I think my best place to always go Clef for the Sneasler slot, and then the question is, am I going for Protect or Psychic here? I think Protect is pretty reasonable. I guess like because I could break a potential multi-scale into Dragonite if it is multi-scale. It's probably Inner Focus, but that means it's probably best move is like Scale Shot, which is against a Clef, which is unfavorable for them. So let's see. Oh, I didn't even realize it's the female Basculegion, so they have Muddy Water. Okay. It could be Scarf. We have no idea actually about the confirmation. Accuracy drop is actually pretty bad. It is Scale Shot. Okay. Delphox is faster than Basculegion, confirmed. I could go for Helping Hand Psychic to take the knockout in Basque, or I could go for the Dragonite slot. I think I'd probably just want to go for Helping Hand. This is a bit tough. It should be adapted to Basque. The question is, does Basque switch out into Tyranitar? Because that's what I'm most fearful of. Because if they go for that and Scale Shot happens, I'm in trouble. I think I go for Helping Hand Psychic into the Dragonite. Ah, they stayed in. I could have got the Psychic off into the Basque. This should still be fine. Because I get a good amount of damage into Dragonite. Oh my goodness, that did a lot. They go for Muddy Water. Delphox dodges though. That is the risk of using Muddy Water. And that's kind of the problem with Special Basque. It doesn't have an accurate water type move. It is getting all these accuracy drops on Clefable. I did debate about going for Psychic Moonblast if I didn't get Act dropped by the first Muddy Water, which would have helped cover for the T-Tar play, but yeah. Scale Shot. They get the 5-hitter. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, my best place to always go out into Basque and click Last Respect into the... How many turns of sand are there left? 1. So I think I Last Respect the D-Knight. And I follow me here. Yeah, no, this is always the play. Last Respect the D-Knight. And follow me here. Because if they knock out Clefable... I guess if they're Timid Bass, but if they're Timid Bass, they shouldn't knock out Sneasler with Muddy Water, so then I can CC the Tyranitar safely. They do retreat the Bass, which is what I expected, because they're fearful of the attack of the Ghost move KOing, and then they have no answer to beat the Sneasler. I get to follow me off, so if they go for Scale Shot, they'd lose. They do. Perfect. And I get the Last Respect. There is one thing that could scare me from this Tyranitar, and that's the move Dragon Dance. Are you Dragon Dance Tyranitar? We'll find out together. I am forced to go for a Last Respect follow me, though. I am forced to follow me Last Respect, because if they are Fast Bass, they have Shadow Ball, so they can actually KO my Basculegion. And they should be Choice Scarf if they outsped their Dragonite, because Scale Shot Dragonite usually runs max speed, so I imagine the Basculegion probably is Choice Scarf. It could be a speed tie, could be Timid, I suppose. Yeah, they Shadow Ball. Clef goes down. Doesn't really change much here. As we do get the Last Respect off. KO the Basque, and then Tyranitar, Moment of Truth. Knock off, yeah. Okay, it's over. Because now I do have my Sneasler in the back, which is ready and primed to click Close Combat into the Tyranitar slot. So that is really good for me. So I should be able to seal up this endgame. So Sneasler will come in, click Close Combat, and... yeah, because if they Dragon Dance, Sneasler might have gone down to Knock Off or Rock Slide. They do forfeit the game because they do know that Tyranitar can't win, and perfect. I did Last Respect to Dragonite because, one, the sand was fading, so it wasn't going down to sand. And even if they did go for, let's say, Protect, I don't think it was too bad, although I could lose Clefable next turn to, like, Rock Slide and sand damage. Actually, no, the sand would have been away, so I think I would have lived Rock Slide with the Clefable afterward. And I could have went for like Last Respect, Follow Me still. I don't know. There's still a bit complications to that game, but I knew the Basculegion was switching. If Dragonite attacked, I was in a pretty nice spot to win. And if it didn't, and if protected, could have been a scary situation, but I felt it was decent odds there. All right, we have Ceruledge, Sneasler, Aegislash, Eternal Floette, Primarina, and Sinistra. So Ceruledge is actually kind of a threat. It is kind of a threat. It does have access to Flash Fire, so I can't really fire off Heat Waves freely because otherwise Behemoth Blade would do a ton of damage to me. However, I do have Basculegion, which is pretty good against my opponent's team. My opponent has no Ghost Resist, so Last Respect would do a ton of damage to my opponent. I kind of like the idea of leading... I could go with Kingambit because Kingambit is pretty strong in this, but I am a little bit concerned about the Sneasler as well as the Eternal Flood. The Flood is actually kind of concerning. And if I lead Sneasler Delphox, I'm a little bit concerned about the Ceruledge. So how exactly am I going to try to play around this? Dragonite is not a bad Pokemon either. I like Delphox as a lead. It just puts on a lot of pressure against a lot of my opponent's supports. I think I want to go... maybe Basculegion plus Delphox is pretty good. I actually like that. It puts on a lot of pressure. I could flip turn immediately. and threaten the Ceruledge, Sneasler in the back, and then last Pokemon, I'm thinking going to be Dragonite or Clefable. I'm going to go Dragonite here because I do have Haze, so I can go for Haze against the Eternal Floette if it gets a little bit out of hand, but we'll see if I'm able to manage that. I also have Extreme Speed, which is pretty nice to clean up, like Focus Sash, Sneasler, and a few other Pokemon, which would be nice. So Sneasler plus Primarina, I think this is a pretty good lead for my Basculegion and my Delphox. There is the Primarina, which is kind of sitting pretty right now, so Sneasler would have been a better lead, but I don't think this is too bad. Here, I have a few options to consider. I could go for Protect immediately. There is Fake Out Pressure. The Basculegion's kind of free to do whatever it really wants to, though. If I lose Basculegion, I'm a little bit concerned about dealing with the Ceruledge, though I do have Dragonite, which isn't too bad against it. I think I'd probably just want to go for a Flip Turn immediately. I think just Protect and Flip Turn isn't too bad with the Delphox. Is there a reason to Mega? There's not really any reason to Mega this turn. And I think we just go for a Flip Turn into the... Let's go for the Sneasler in case it's Focus Sash so we can break a Sash. And it probably doesn't Protect this turn. It probably goes for Fake Out, I'd assume. So we will protect our Delphox. Fake Out did come out into the Delphox slot, so I don't have to worry about like a Close Combat or Dire Claw coming out in that slot. So I can get the Flip Turn off. Does a pretty good amount of damage, and now I get a free switch. I'm thinking of going out into Sneasler because then I could go for like a Psychic Dire Claw situation, which is pretty good to me. So I am going to go out into Sneasler here, which should be pretty solid as they go for a Calm Mind immediately, which is completely fine because they still have to worry about this Dire Claw that can heavily threaten the Primarina. So very happy about this turn. I can now go for a Dire Claw, and I think I want to go for a Heat Wave. Or do I want to go for Psychic? It depends on who I think would potentially come in. It could be the Ceruledge, which would be eating the Flash Fire, which wouldn't be super ideal. But I do have Sash on my Sneasler, so I'm not really too concerned about the Bitter Blade immediately. So I think we go for a Heat Wave, and we go for a Dire Claw. The reason I want to go for Heat Wave is because I also catch the Sinistra on a switch, which I think is also pretty good to me. So we'll go for Heat Wave and we'll go for Dire Claw. We're going to see the Sneasler switch out into Ceruledge. So that's not too surprising to me, but I don't think that's too bad because I still threaten the Primarina with Heat Wave plus Dire Claw. And as long as it's not like Poison Resist Berry, I should be in a good spot. I could have faked out, but they probably protect here anyway. Yeah. So I could have got a free Psychic off into Ceruledge, which would have been better. I just wasn't sure, like, hey, is Primarina invested to potentially survive a Dire Claw from Sneasler? So that's something I think that was really important to me there. So I will go for the double up into Sneasler, or double up into the Primarina the next turn. I'm going to fire off a Psychic plus a Dire Claw. How important is the Delphox? It's good, but it's not necessary to win the game. I still have Last Respect on my Basculegion. That's looking pretty good to be able to sweep my opponent's team. So I'm thinking I'm just going to fire off the Dire Claw plus the Psychic. If I get rid of the Calm Mind Primarina from the field, it's just huge for my momentum. As we're going to see Sinistra come in, so it's going to take a Psychic plus Dire Claw, which we'll see how much damage this does, but it should do a very solid amount. As we can see, Psychic does a great amount of damage, and the Dire Claw going to come out into the Sinistra, does some pretty good shit, does activate the Citrus Berry, but I think this is pretty decent. Let's see what they went for. Bitter Blade. I will be activating my Sash on the Sneasler, so don't think it's too bad of a situation, yet I would probably want to make sure that my Delphox is going to be safe. So I think this turn I would probably just want to protect my Delphox, and I'm preserving my Sneasler. Also no Mega Evolution, so we don't have to worry about the Floette in this game. I like the idea of just going hard into Dragonite. This is probably Shadow Sneak into the Sneasler, and maybe the Sinistra switches back out into the Primarina. They could also go for Protect if they have it. They could also just like ignore the current Sneasler and target down the Delphox, since they can always threaten it with Shadow Sneak anyway. So I think those are all reasonable. Let's see. They go for Rage Powder. That makes sense. And I'm guessing it's like Poltergeist into the Delphox or Shadow Claw. Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. This actually works out pretty well in my favor because now I can go for Substitute with my Delphox, and I can go for a Scale Shot, and I can target down the... I think I just target down the Sinistra slot, which probably Rage Powders because I think the Ceruledge might have to fear like a double up gaining the KO into the Ceruledge. I could see Protect Sinistra switch out to Ceruledge. I could also see Sinistra switching out to Primarina. I think it's a bit less likely, but Those are all potential options that my opponent does have. Again, I'm trying to set up for an end game where I've got to my opponent weak and in range of Last Respect, just cleaning up the end game. So that's kind of the idea here. We also have Substitute because it will stall out a attack if the Sarilege does target down the Delphox, and if they target Dragonite, it's not too bad. Skill Shot is such a fraud move times. They go for Shadow Claw, okay. Such a fraud move at times. Alright. Alright. I'm going to go for Protect with Delphox, and I'm just going to go for Scale Shot into the Sarilege here. Because I think they kind of they don't want to keep my Delphox from gaining a free substitute. So at this point, I'm assuming they're probably just going to Rage Powder again and sack and probably just go for the same Shadow Claw play. Because even if I go for sub and they break the sub, that means they're probably starting to put me into that range of the Shadow Sneak. I know I love Shadow Sneak at this current range, but after the sub is broken the next turn, that's where it gets concerning. So I don't want to go for a substitute here. I'd rather Scale Shot the Sarilege in case Sinister switches out exactly into like Prim. Yep, exactly. I could have doubled up the Sarilege, but I didn't want to risk it all potentially yet. So let's see if we hit the Scale Shot this time. We do hit a Scale Shot this time, which is great. And that's actually really good damage to Sarilege. Come on. There's a reason why this move is not good without loaded dice. Okay, Shadow Claw. They target down the Delphox. It's leftovers on the Sarilege, okay. Well, if I lose both of these Pokemon, can I... Well, I can't lose both of these Pokemon this turn. Does the Sarilege protect? I definitely live Hyper Voice, though, from Primarina, so it might be worth just to double up the Sarilege slot and take the knockout, because if I get a Sarilege, that means no Shadow Sneak pressure into my Sneasler, which is pretty good. They might protect, though, so it might have been better to go for Psychic damage and a Prim to guarantee put in Last Respect after 2 knockouts. But I think I'm willing to go for the Sarilege. Okay. They went for Hyper Voice or Calm Mind. If they went for Calm Mind, I can still haze, so it's not, like, awful. But we'll see. I think they have to preserve Sarilege, because if they don't preserve Sarilege, it's really bad for them. Hyper Voice. They are Mystic Water or they crit me? Because I have really good Spadef. I highly... Oh, wow. Mystic Water, I guess. Alright. It's not ideal, but granted, it's still fine. Yeah, it's still fine. Because I can go Bass now, and I threaten Last Respect plus Extreme Speed. Yeah, Last Respect plus Extreme Speed is pretty nice. And it should KO Primarina at this range. I think if I was my opponent, I would sack the Sneasler here. Because I think you can afford to lose Sarilege. And a Moonblast doesn't knock out the Basculegion. So I think Sarilege might retreat here into the Sneasler. Because I don't think they need Sneasler to win the game at all. So I'm going to go for Extreme Speed plus the Last Respect into the Prim. Well, they stayed in. So I do get the Extreme Speed off at least in the Prim. And I will get Last Respect off. Yet... a bit concerning. I do get the knockout in the Prim. They went for Shadow Claw. And Bass survives. I mean, that's good at least, but do I have enough? I think like all my Pokemon being in Shadow Sneak range is just not good. Yeah. If there was no Sinister in the back, I think the game's 100% winnable because I'd have Aqua Jet pressure into the Sarilege. Of course, if I got the damage in the Sarilege earlier with not getting 2 hits, could have been a different case. They actually go Sinister, which is interesting here. Because I think I can sack Sneasler and go for a Scale Shot into the Sinister slot. Yeah, I actually don't think that's that bad. I think they have to go for Shadow Sneak here into the Basculegion. I don't think they can afford a Last Respect. And I do have a speed boost with Dragonite. So the speed order would actually be Dragonite first and then Basculegion. So let's see what happens here. I guess they don't know the speed interaction 100%, but Dragonite is faster than Basculegion usually. So let's see. I assume this is Rage Powder plus Shadow Sneak. Yeah, Rage Powder. Perfect. Okay. Show me Shadow Sneak. Like, what am I supposed to say, man? What am I supposed to say? Scale Shot, there's a reason I refuse to use Scale Shot Dragonite in Regulation H. And this is the exact reason why. This is the exact reason why. Like, I would not recommend using Scale Shot Dragonite in this format. You know what? My only hope here is... The thing is, they also gave me the game too, because my current spreads have Dragonite faster than Basculegion. Let's see. If they don't Shadow Sneak, I do win. I do win the game. If I do win the game if they don't reveal Shadow Sneak here. Or if they target the Dragonite reading and Basculegion Protect for no reason. 3, 3, 3, 3. Do they not have Shadow Sneak? What do you run? Are you just bulk up? Are you bulk up Protect Shadow Claw Bitter Blade? I have no words. I have no words. Like, I thought Dragonite was just like the biggest fumble of all time. And then maybe I think the Sarilege just doesn't have Shadow Sneak because there's no reason to target down the Dragonite if that's the case. Because if they're targeting down the Dragonite, they probably went for Shadow Claw. Yeah, now the game's over because I can just Last Respect and I have Extreme Speed with the Dragonite. It's actually crazy how much Dragonite fumbled this game, but it just got bailed out because my opponent didn't have the Shadow Sneak. Because, like, I was trying to play around Shadow Sneak this entire time because I thought, like, that's a good thing with Sarilege. I guess it kind of makes sense, though. When we saw Shadow Sneak or Shadow Claw and Bitter Blade, and then we saw the leftover set, I guess that would probably more indicate it is going to be bulk up. I'm just so used to, like, seeing Shadow Sneak on Sarilege that I guess I forgot that Shadow Sneak might not even be an option on the Bitter Blade set. But I really thought it would be because it would have been really good against me there. And that's the worst case. So you always want to play around the worst case scenarios at times. And luckily, it wasn't the worst case scenario. All right, we have Glimmora, Mamoswine, Talonflame, Sinistra, Hydreigon, and Basculegion. Hydreigon's probably one of the scariest mons here, especially because it absolutely walls my Delphox. So something I'm going to have to keep in mind. Glimmora is also a bit terrifying. Mamoswine, decent threat, but Delphox is actually really good into Mamoswine in general. So if I can check the Hydreigon, the Basculegion, my Mega Delphox is actually pretty good. And Clefable is one of the best answers to Hydreigon that we have out here. So might not be a bad choice. We also could just go with something like the setup here of going for a Kingambit suite, because Kingambit is also pretty good against my opponent's team. I am a little bit worried about the Mamoswine and playing around it, so there is that as well. I think I want to go with Delphox lead. I think Delphox is really solid here. I could go for Delphox Dragonite because I do have access to the Extreme Speed, so I could go for like Extreme Speed to prevent the Talonflame from getting the Gale Wings up, which would be solid. I do like Delphox, and I think I like... You know what? I kind of like Delphox Kingambit as a lead, because Kingambit puts on a lot of pressure against everything that threatens the Delphox. And I think I like having Clefable, and I think Dragonite back, although Basculegion was also good. I think I want Dragonite because I can protect to stall out the Tailwind turns, which sounds really good to me. Though Basque was a really good endgame cleaner because it outspeeds the Glimmora. Mega Evolution wise, is probably going to be Glimmora on this team. It's the only Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, so I don't think this is that bad. Okay, we see Glimmora Talonflame, which I don't see how they threaten Kingambit immediately unless they go for like a hard read of Earth Power and the Flare Blitz. Talonflame should be faster than Glimmora. I could go for like a Protect with Kingambit. Okay, do I want to play super aggressive or not? Because Psychic threatens the Glimmora currently. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. I think going to Clefable and going for a Sword Stance is actually a pretty alright play. Because I don't know if they're going to Flare Blitz immediately. They could protect the Glamora and go for a Will-O-Wisp or Flare-Blitz, but that won't knock out Gambit, which is nice. They do Spiky Shield with the Glim. Okay, so this works out okay, but let's see what the Talonflame did. The Talonflame, it did go for Will-O-Wisp. Okay, so I do negate it with Swords Dance, which is nice. And now I can get a pretty decent Kowtow Cleave off the following turn. So it's not awful. Yes, we will get the Swords Dance up with the Kingambit, so now we threaten some pretty heavy damage. And then I think this turn we want to go for Helping Hand Sucker Punch. Doesn't knock out the Glim, unfortunately. The question is, I don't want to take the Sludge Bomb. I don't think they're doubling up the Gambit here. I think I do want to get rid of the Tailwind option, though, for my opponent, because the Tailwind option is a bit annoying. I think I'm just going to Kowtow the Talonflame. Because Glamora is going to be annoying under the Trick Room turns, or not Trick Room turns, the Tailwind turns, but I think if I stall out the Tailwind, I can set up for a really nice position with Dragonite next to Delphox in the end game. So we will protect our Clefable here. We do want to preserve it, as we are going to see Tailwind come out. This is probably Sludge Bomb, so this is perfect here. Yep, they did go for Sludge Bomb. That's super ideal. And now the Talonflame is in range of Extreme Speed. Yep. Perfect. I wonder if Helping Hand Kowtow would knock out the Glim. It is Black Glasses, but Glim does get some pretty good physical defense when it Mega Evolves. I don't need adaptability on my Dragonite, and I think saving Clef is 100% worth it. So I think I go Dragonite here, and I just fire off a Kowtow Cleave into the Glamora. I'm curious if the Talonflame has Quick Guard as one of its move options, because Tailwind offense teams do like Quick Guard that could block priority. They do have Quick Guard, okay, and they did go for it. So this is actually super ideal, because they probably Sludge Bomb the Dragonite again. Yeah, okay, perfect. So if it's Quick Guard, Tailwind, Will-O-Wisp, it's probably a flying move, so they can't hit the Gambit with it. So Earth Power won't do enough to Kingambit to threaten it. Now the question is, are they going to go for Quick Guard again? Because I kind of assume not. They are in range of Sucker Punch, but this is a mind game here. I do have an okay play of just going for a Kowtow, but they could Spiky Shield and try to reposition. I think my best play is just to protect Dragonite and just threaten the Sucker Punch into Glim. They also could go for a hard read of doubling up the Kingambit slot with like a flying move plus an attack. And yeah, they didn't actually go for the Quick Guard. So I do get the knockout into Glim. And that was just because they probably assumed I wasn't going to go for a Sucker Punch because I just saw Quick Guard. So they went for a Will-O-Wisp instead. And I am able to get them on that read. It was a call, but I felt like I had room to make the call because I don't think Earth Power knocked out the Kingambit at that range. Now they bring in Mamoswine, which is completely fine. They can only knock out one of my Pokemon here. So I think my best play is just to double up the Talonflame slot with Scale Shot and Kowtow. We know the Talonflame doesn't have Protect. I want to deny another Tailwind. And it's the last turn of Tailwind, so once this Tailwind's over, my Mega Delphox is going to go crazy next to Clefable in the end game. They go for Quick Guard again. Mamoswine can only take a knockout into one of my Pokemon. And it goes for the Kingambit. So if we hit Scale Shot, we're in a great position. But even if we don't, Mega Delphox outspeeds the Talonflame and can Heat Wave. Dude, this Dragonite is trying to make me rage so much. This Dragonite is trying to make me rage so much. Alright, we bring in the Delphox. And the Mamoswine can't hit Delphox because the Mega Evolution gives Levitate. So this is actually a really nice scenario here. As we can go for a... I do kind of just want to Extreme Speed the Mamoswine and just go for a Heat Wave. Because Extreme Speed will break the Sash on the Mamoswine. Of course, I am risking like the Heat Wave hitting the Talonflame, and I could have gotten a single target Heat Wave into Mamoswine, but like at this point, I feel like I'd rather just have to hit the Heat Wave at this point. Delphox got me. If Dragonite doesn't got me, Delphox got me. Yep, Delphox got me. Heat Wave comes out, takes a double knockout, and now no matter who my opponent has in the back, it's looking pretty good because if it is Basculegion, it doesn't... actually, it could outspeed my Delphox if they're Jolly, I suppose. I might need Dragonite to put in some work here. Alright. I'm going to go for a Scale Shot into Basque, and I am going to Protect. I think this is my best play no matter what. I mean, it's calling the Last Respect target. Let's see. I think Clef could maybe even live a Last Respect. They do target the Dragonite, which is smart by them. Okay. I think it's going to come down to the Basque and the Clefable situation. So Clef comes in. I wonder if Helping Hand Psychic can knock out, but if... I think it's always... No, it's always safer to follow me. It's safer to follow me in Psychic here. If they're Jolly, they don't KO Clef, I'm pretty sure, with the Last Respect, with Adaptability Scarf. And if they're Adamant, they don't KO the Delph... Or they don't KO the Clef. Yeah, they are Jolly. Oh, they did KO. Oh, I do lose this. Because Jolly Basque is a thing. Okay, so Jolly Basque for Delphox. I guess... Technically with Mega Gengar in the format that makes sense. I guess no matter what, I guess protecting Delphox was troll actually. Now that I think about it, going for Protect with Delphox was probably troll. Although I think I was just been fearing Scale Shot hitting and getting the min roll. But I'm pretty sure that as long as I got like 1 3-hitter on the Scale Shot, I probably would have won. So yeah, now that I think about it, protecting Delphox was a huge mistake. I should just went for Scale Shot plus Fang. I thought like it was going to be Adamant Basque, but now that I'm thinking about it, because of the fact that it outspeeds stuff like the Delphox and the Mega Gengar, Jolly does make sense on Scarf Bass. So that was definitely my fault. I definitely tossed the end game there for sure. So definitely a manageable one. All I had to do was just attack with both Pokemon. And if Delphox went down to Last Respect, I just need a Dragonite to clutch up. Although Dragonite has not been clutching this entire game, realistic, or in this entire session, but I think I had to. All right, we have Kingambit, Basculegion, Delphox, Garchomp, Whimsicott, and Sneasler. Okay, we have some threats. The Basculegion definitely going to be scary. Delphox Mirror is interesting. I don't mind it here. Trying to think about what the best combo is. My own Kingambit's pretty good. I like my Basculegion a lot. There is, though, the Kingambit. Actually, I should probably run Jolly Basque. I'll probably switch to Jolly Basque after this game now that I think about it. Because being able to outspeed opposing Delphox is probably important since it actually is becoming relevant in the format. Don't want to go then. Clef is actually pretty good. It's good into like Sword Stance Kingambit, which I don't know if it is, but we'll see. Dragonite's pretty decent. Trying to think. I probably need Sneasler. I think I'd got to get the call right. I think Sneasler lead with Delphox isn't too bad. I don't think they lead Basque immediately. And then I think I want to bring Clef. Did I bring Dragonite is the question? I kind of want to try out the Basque here. Because Basque seems really good in the end game. But we'll see. I am pretty Basque weak myself though with this bring, however. So maybe it was better to bring Kingambit. Although, yeah. Maybe it was better to bring Kingambit so I could threaten the Delphox and the Basculegion more efficiently. The only reason I just don't want to bring the Kingambit is because I don't know what the Delphox set is. But we'll see. What is going to be your lead here? Sneasler or Kingambit? Okay. Not terrible. I am max speed on my Delphox. I could go for Fake Out and... I could go for Fake Out into Sneasler, or I could Fake Out to Kingambit. There's a lot of options that I do have here. I could also go Clef. I don't know if I really want to go Clef. I think I'm willing to Fake Out the Sneasler and go for a substitute turn 1. Yeah. I'm willing to go for Substitute turn 1. They might have Whimsicott though in the back, so maybe actually this might not be the play because they could switch out into Whimsicott for one of the slots. Although that is a bit risky if I decide to click Fake Out Heat Wave here into the Gambit slot, which is a reasonable play. Let's see. I do get the Fake Out off into the Sneasler. I don't think they Sucker Punch turn 1. They're probably going to go for Kowtow if anything. If they go for Source Dance, then that's a free Psychic Close Combat for me, so I'm fine with that. Okay, we will get a Substitute up. Let's see what the Kingambit does. Goes for Kowtow. Oh, targets a Sneasler, which is an interesting choice. Huh. Very interesting choice. Because I don't see what's stopping me from going for Close Combat and Psychic now into the Sneasler. Their only Psychic switching is currently out on the field. If it's Chopo Gambit, maybe they KO my Sneasler in response, but really my Sneasler was really only for this Kingambit. And I guess stopping a Whimsicott Tailwind lead immediately, because I think Tailwind at the beginning of the game was more threatening than endgame Tailwind. Sneasler retreats, which is fine. Into their own Delphox, okay. Oh, I see what they're going for, okay. So they're probably protecting the Kingambit. I could have probably doubled up the Delphox, but granted, I think this is not too bad for me still. I get free damage into the Delphox before it Mega Balls, which means I get a pretty decent hit off. They do go for Protect with Kingambit, but I think this is pretty alright here. Because I still get a very nice Psychic amount into the Delphox. Am I in range of Heat Wave, I guess is the question, with my Sneasler? I want to say yes. I think Hard Bask is probably worth it here. Yeah, I think Hard Bask is 100% worth it and just drawing off a Heat Wave. They do Psychic. I just don't want... Well, I guess I could go Clef too. I was thinking I could threaten Pressure the next turn with Aqua Jet into Substitute, but actually I do like the Clef play a bit more. I think Clef and going for Heat Wave makes more sense here. So I'll go for Heat Wave. I wonder if the endgame is Bask. I think it is probably Bask. I don't think it's Whims, and I don't think it's Garchomp likely here, so we'll see. They do Mega Evolve. The only unfortunate part is if they're max speed, which most likely they are, then my Delphox is going to be a bit slower. But that's not like too bad here. They actually Sucker Punch immediately. Okay. That's fine. Oh, okay. My Delphox is faster, or is it Speed Tie? I got a good Heat Wave off. Ooh, and a nice burn in the Gambit. Okay, interesting. As they go for Heat Wave themselves. How much does it do? Not that much. All right. I like this spot a lot because I think in this position I can go for Follow Me and I can sub up with my Delphox. And I want to set up a sub with Delphox because I want to have my Delphox be able to have one layer protection against the Basculegion. So definitely unfortunate for my opponent because I would have probably clicked Follow Me Heat Wave the upcoming turn, but I'm going to take advantage of the burn if I can. I should live with the Clefable because I have Citrus Berry. Follow Me redirects any Kowtow into the Delphox. I mean, I guess if they Sucker Punch, I could have just went for Moonblast too. Maybe I should have just went for Moonblast now that I think about it, because Clefable should be faster than Gambit. But they went for Sucker Punch. But I went for Sub anyway, so it didn't really matter there. They go for Psychic. I should live one. Yeah. Okay. This is really, really ideal. I guess if this is Encore Delphox, it could be scary. It could be Encore Delphox. Oh, but I mean, I think we did Speed Tie, right? Yeah, because the Psychic went off and... Wait. Did my sub up go after the Psychic? I think we Speed Tie. I'm like pretty confident we Speed Tie. I know my Delphox moved first. Basculegion does come in, yeah. And I really, really need to outspeed the Delphox here and KO this Bass with a Psychic. Oh no. And this is such a game determiner too, because if I do win the game with my Bask. This is one of the scary mods where I think if I had Kingambit, I was actually in a really prime spot to win. So I think I should have brought Kingambit. Because Sucker Punch would be able to threaten the Basque and the Delphox at this range. Alright, let's see what they decide to go for here. Like, is it the Encore Delphox? They go for Last Respect, it's in the Clef. Clef goes down. Moment of Truth. Okay, it's not, it's just Heat Wave, cool. It's also, they did see that they were slower than me the first time, and yeah, it's a speed tie between the Delphoxes, because we're both just outspeeding Mega Gengar. So Psychic will come out in the Basque, we confirm to the Scarf, so this drops to the Psychic? No, it did not, but we do have Aqua Jet on our Basque, so that's fine. And I think we live a Heat Wave. So we go for Jet here, and we go for a Psychic into the Basculegion slot. Or maybe, actually, should I have Jet the Delphox? Maybe I should Jet the Delphox. Although if they protect Delphox and attack with Basculegion, I guess that's a guaranteed loss. Yet I think Bass probably switches to Sneasler to sack. So they can get a Psychic off and then maybe go for their own Aqua Jet cleanup. We'll see. They do, okay. Do get an Aqua Jet off into the Sneasler. Psychic. I love how I've been winning the speed ties that don't matter, but okay. Unless they Psychic the Delphox, but I just don't see them Psychicing the Delphox. Oh, they have Sub. Wait, but Sub is just a guaranteed loss for them. I think. I think. I think I just jet the Bass. Yeah, like I'm about to say, like I don't think the Sub helps them in this situation. Also, if I jetted the Delphox, they were losing anyway, because it would have been Psychic the Basculegion, jet the Delphox slot. So I don't know what the Sub did. I think they had to go for a Heat Wave or Psychic. More likely, it should have been Psychic in the Bass, because they could go for a crit. Or try to put me in their own Aqua Jet range and go for a potential speed tie. But yeah, I think I should definitely run Jolly Bass now. So that is something I'll probably be editing about the team. Is going to be Jolly Basque. Alright, we have Delphox, Garchomp, Kingambit, Aerodactyl, Sneasler, and Gardevoir. A lot of Delphoxes apparently on the ladder today, but... Alright, let's see what we want to go here. Kingambit, again, a little bit scary, but overall, they are a little bit weak to Sneasler Delphox. Sneasler Delphox is really good, and I do like that lead. What mainly counters Sneasler Delphox? Maybe the Garchomp doesn't even counter Sneasler Delphox because Levitate on the Delphox makes it hard for them. So I do like that combination. And then the question is, what am I bringing to back? Basculegion's really good against my opponent's team, so I do like Basque. I think the question is, do I want to bring Dragonite, which seems really good. Extreme Speed's really solid, or do I bring Clef? Because the Kingambit on their side is a bit scary to deal with. And I think the answer is probably Clef. Because with Follow Me, I'm able to utilize my Delphox more efficiently against the Kingambit, which is probably the scariest mon here. My only problem with this Sneasler Delphox lead is it's not like amazing in the Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is super threatening. I can go for Fake Out Psychic probably in the Aerodactyl, but otherwise, like I want to have pressure against the Kingambit lead if that is the case. And I don't want to lead Basque plus Delphox because even though that's great in the Aerodactyl, it's terrible into the Kingambit. So that's why I want to go with this kind of combination. Let's see what they decide to go with lead-wise here. I do think that the Delphox or the Kingambit is definitely going to be the biggest threat. I'm not too worried about their Delphox with Basculegion back, but we'll see. Aerodactyl Sneasler. Imagine if I led Basque here. Imagine if I led Basque. Okay. It's probably Wider Sneasler and Focus Sash Aerodactyl. Unless this is Mega Aerodactyl. We didn't talk about the Mega Evolutions that my opponent could have. But it's, I mean, they have 3. It's or 4 actually. It's probably Gardevoir and Delphox. But more likely it's just Delphox, and maybe just regular Gardevoir is also a potential option. I want to go for Fake Out and Aerodactyl. I am going to play a bit greedy here, and I'm going to go out into my Basculegion. I think it's either we're going to trade Fake Outs, most likely. And since I'm assuming it's Sash Aerodactyl, usually White Herb Sneasler I feel will probably run Adamant, or they'll run Jolly with some bulk. So I'm going to go for Fake Out and Arrow and Hard Swap here. Oh, we see the Sneasler switch into Garchomp. Okay, that works out. Actually, does this work out? It's not terrible for me, but it's not ideal. Aerodactyl protects. Okay. They kind of got me on this because the Garchomp's actually in a really rough spot. I would rather have stayed in with the Delphox and have threatened a lot of damage. Now it's a little bit concerning. I might have to lose the Sneasler here, which is not great. Do I want to KO the Aerodactyl in this position? I don't think I do. And I also am risking dual wing beats. So I think my best place to protect Sneasler and probably go for a flip turn into the Aerodactyl. Also, I thought I put Wave Crash on the Basque. I didn't realize I've had Liquidation this entire time. Okay. So I'm going to have to keep a note afterwards. So flip turn going to come out and Aerodactyl brings it down to Sash. It's not Scarf Garchomp, so that's good to confirm at least. All right. I don't need Bass to be healthy to clean up the endgame. I'm just curious on who their last Pokemon is. I could see them dropping the Delphox for Kingambit, but I'm not 100% certain. But I am going to go on a Clef. I can't go into Delphox now, unfortunately, because the ability to go for Rock Slide, I don't think they're going for Rock Slide. Probably Tailwind or Dual Wing Beat. Yeah, that makes sense. And the Garchomp probably just going to go for EQ. Yeah. Okay. I do live EQ into Rock Slide thanks to the Citrus Berry, so I'll live any attacks. I need chip into both of these. I can beat Kingambit without Sneasler. The Gardevoir could be a little bit scary, but if I have Basque around, it's not too bad. I think I should probably just go for Close Combat into the Garchomp plus Moonblast into the Garchomp as well. Let's see what the arrow has. It's just going to Rock Slide Earthquake. Okay, yeah, that's to be expected. Okay, that's fine. I'm not sure if Bass lived a double up, and I did not want to risk switching in. I crit the Sneasler, that doesn't matter. Oh, a Nerve will prevent me from eating the berry too, right? I keep forgetting about this, but I mean, I should live Earthquake, yeah. Okay. I need the Moonblast damage off. That's really important. Well, I just lose. I just lose. I just lose because of that. Unless Basculegion lives to double up, but even if I live to double up, it's looking pretty rough. Like, what would I need as the win condition? I guess I would need it to be Delphox back, I guess? Yeah, that would be the case. That's such an unfortunate flinch. But I was pretty cooked on after turn 2, I think. Oh, wait, that helps. That helps. Okay. Okay. A little bit of justice. I kind of wish I flipped into Garchomp to get the chip damage now, but it's still fine. We know it's not Scarf Garchomp because it didn't outspeed. We got flip turn off. Goodbye, arrow. Okay. It really depends on the last Mon. But we do get the Citrus Berry back, so Clef is in a good spot. We can go out into Delphox. We might live EQ actually with the Clef. It looks super close. Because I lived on 23 from 90, right? So I don't think the EQ actually KOs the Clefable, which actually gives me a decent position. Also, we do confirm that it is going to be White Herb Sneasler because it was Sash Aerodactyl, so that's going to be good for me because I can actually threaten the one-hit KO with Psychic. So I think the question is, how well can I play against Kingambit if it's Kingambit back? Or if it's Gardevoir back. But Gardevoir is not as bad. Sneasler comes in. I think my best play is to get Chip here, specifically into the Garchomp. I don't think I'm allowed to take the knockout into the Sneasler. I mean, my best play is just to Moonblast Psychic the Garchomp. Because then after Tailwind expires, because this is the last turn of Tailwind for their side, which means that I'd be able to... Yeah, I think this is probably the best play. Because if they fake out, that's fine. It's not like the extra bit of fake out damage I think matters in this situation. Dire Claw Rock Slide, I guess, could be scaring the Delphox. I don't know if they go for that. Oh, they go for close combat. Oh, they're activating the White Herb. Oh, they are going for Rock Slide, though, for sure. Okay. I mean, I still think that this is fine regardless. Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, they go for Rock Slide. I need Delphox not to flinch here. But even if it doesn't flinch here, I might still be screwed. I guess it depends on the back. It really depends on who the last spawn is. Okay, no flinch. That's good. Why are you Citrus Berry on the Garchomp? Why are you Citrus Berry on the Garchomp? Alright, we get Bask in. No, that was a good... That was a good White Herb tech that they activated. Because now they outspeed my Delphox. I should have Psychic the Sneasler. I just wasn't sure if it was Kingambit back. I think I should have went for it. I wanted to set up a position where I could go for like Last Respect and Psychic to take a double knockout, but yeah. I think I just gotta pray like the last is Gardevoir. Yeah, I think I just gotta pray the last is like Gardevoir or Delphox. We're going for Last Respect into Garchomp and protecting. Although if it is Garchomp or Gardevoir, they should Dire Claw to Bask. If they decide to leave the Delphox alone, it's probably Gambit, I assume. Last Respect. KO's the Garchomp. What's the final mon? Is it Kingambit? Because I think Kingambit makes a lot of sense into me. Oh, wait, it is Gardevoir. Oh. I guess it's going to come down to if it's Scarf Gardevoir and if it's Timid Scarf. Because if it's Modest Scarf, I outspeed with Basculegion. We know it's not Sash Gardevoir. Interesting. I think they should... Alright. We have a game. Let's see. It's just going to come down to... Well, there are two factors that we have to also worry about. Depends on the Sneasler set as well. It's Mega Gardevoir. Wait, if it's Mega Gardevoir, then they can't be Scarf, which means Last Respect KOs. Or are they going to go for Protect Dire Claw? There's two Dire Claws knockout to the Basculegion. I should have thought about Protect. I should have Protect. I was too like, is it Scarf Gardevoir? But I should have probably thought about the Protect as well. Oh, I had to think about the... Well, if Dire Claw doesn't do a KO because it's Jolly Sneasler, maybe we resist it, but Basculegion's defense is not good. It's not good. So we'll see. Dire Claw. Yeah, we don't live to. Oh. And we get the Dire Claw sleep. I mean, that was... I mean, the game was over anyway. So, don't really have too much there. Trying to think. I mean, I just regret not Mega Evolving Delphox, because if I was able to Mega Evolve Delphox, I'd actually probably be in a much more comfortable spot against the lead. So I guess Mega Evolving Delphox instead of switching to Basque. I thought it was like, okay, I could get a nice position with my Basque. I mean, last turn too. Like, last turn was definitely readable. It just, I should have probably thought about like, okay, if it's Gardevoir back, it could be Mega, and should have targeted that. My brain just automatically went to Scarf because it's worst case scenario probably if they're Timid Scarf. But if they're Mouse Scarf, I win. Alright, we have Garchomp, we have Mousehold, we have Delphox, we have Aerodactyl, we have Eternafloat, and we have Sneasler. Okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath, because I had like 2 games in a row where I literally just got crit turn 1 and lost the game. Can we not have that happen? Like, the Dragonite's already been crumbling, but come on. I needed a break after that. Alright, let's see. What do I want to go here? I think the Basque is pretty good as a lead. Flip turn's really solid here. I think I just want to lead Basque plus Delphox, which is a pretty good lead against my opponent's team. It's really strong into a lot of what they could bring here. Sneasler for sure, so I can have a good answer to the Floette. And then, what's the last here? Probably Clef. I like Clef or Dragonite. Redirection's solid, but is it necessary? I kind of like the extreme speed pressure, because extreme speed into the Sash, Aerodactyl, or weakened Pokemon seem pretty solid. I think I go with Dragonite. The only problem with it is I don't have a switch in to Floette if they lead Floette. That's the only problem. Maybe Multiscale can let me live a Dazzling Gleam. I'm not sure about Moonblast. Let's see what they lead here. Delphox Sneasler. Okay, that's fine. This is a really good lead, actually, because Basculegion is really solid here. Okay. So what do they have? They have nothing that resists Flip Turn. So I don't see why I wouldn't just Flip Turn the Delphox. And I kind of want to go for Mega Evolve Substitute in case the Sneasler has Protect and goes for Protect turn 1. Because if it's like White Herb, they could either fake out the Delphox, which I think is fine, or they could Protect. I think those are like your 2 options. I think the Delphox has to retreat here, unless they want to risk like Wave Crash immediately into the Delphox. So let's see what they decide to go for. They could Protect Delphox, but I mean, Sneasler doesn't do anything to the Basculegion here, so we will Mega Evolve our Delphox immediately. Let's see if they Mega Evolve, because it looks like my Delphox moved before theirs if they didn't, so. Okay, it looks like we either Speed Tie. I think it's most likely we Speed Tie, because I'm not Max Speed Delphox. So I imagine that we just Speed Tie. Also, it's crazy that they attacked. Okay, they went for Protect, that's fine. Fake out Protect, okay. The thing is, what does that get them? That really doesn't get them much here. Because they know I'm Scarf and they know I'm faster, and we saw my Mega Evolution go before theirs. They know that I can pressure them. So I think my best play is actually just to go for a Flip Turn into the Sneasler and go for Heat Wave, because it catches whatever could switch in. I don't think Delphox lives Flip Turn from Adaptability Basque. Maybe it's a weak move, but alright, if they stay in, that's fine too, because like this, again, the Delphox isn't like a crazy threat to my Dragonite and my Delphox, so this is okay. I'll bring in the Dragonite. Also, they didn't bring the Float, which is nice as well. They go for Psychic, okay. I would like a bit of chip damage though on the Delphox to ensure. Hit this. I guess that's what I get for playing a bit greedy. But I wanted to cover a switch for the Delphox slot. That's really bad. I took so much unnecessary damage. And it's White Herb. The Psychic doesn't KO the Dragonite. Man. They don't have Sand, right? They don't have Sand. If they have Arrow, they could go Arrow. I'm just going to click Extreme Speed into the Sneasler, and I'm going to go for a Substitute in case they Psychic the Dragonite. If they protect Sneasler, that's fine. I don't know what the Delphox is clicking here. Ideally, I get the sub up. Okay, nice. They did go for the Dragonite, which is perfect because I do get a free substitute up with the Delphox. And if I'm behind a substitute, at least I'm kind of safe from attacks at the current moment. So now I have a pin here onto that slot of Extreme Speed Psychic into the Sneasler, and I am going to go for Extreme Speed Psychic into the Sneasler. I don't even think... Does Dragonite go down the Heat Wave here? I guess we'll find out. But I am going to double up the Sneasler, because I want to catch like a Garchomp, I want to catch a Mousehold. I'm not really... Again, I'm not worried about the Delphox. I'm trying to catch whatever is switching in. Or they like have to play with less resources against me. So Sneasler goes down, which is great. And then what is this? Heat Wave? Psychic? Psychic. Okay, that's fine. Now I can get a free switch to Basque, and Basque is in a pretty good offensive position. Yeah, we speed type with our Delphoxes, so we will go for Psychic. Good damage. Don't have to worry about Encore on the Delphox at the current moment. I do want to go out into Basque here. As they go Aerodactyl, which is fine. Okay. This is what I wanted an Extreme Speed Mon for, but I mean, this is kind of fine. I like Flip Turn Heat Wave a lot here into the Arrow. The reason I like this play is because I still get damage into the Delphox. I don't know if Arrow protects here. It does protect. So the Delphox didn't protect. So they've got to me on the targets, but I still don't even think this is that bad realistically. They go for Psychic, that's fine. Actually, that does less to Bass than I thought. Do you get a Heat Wave? Like, I'm getting chip damage onto the Delphox, which is pretty good. I like the idea of getting, again, a Flip Turn Psychic combination off into the Arrow, which is pretty solid. And if they go for Psychic and a Basculegion, they activate my Sash on the Sneasler, which activates some Burden, so I actually have a way to revenge KO the Arrow. I know Flip 10 brings down the Arrow the Sash. Do I want to play greedy again? You know what? We're just going to hit the Heat Wave this time and get a bit of extra damage on the Delphox if in the range of another Heat Wave because we want to threaten those KOs. I also could see like Garchomp coming out, which is fine. That's also another reason why I want to go for the Heat Wave into the Delphox because I want chip damage into the... I want to put in like a close combat Psychic pin where I can close combat the Garchomp and I can Psychic Delphox for the knockout. So we get a Flip Turn off an Arrow, no switch, which is nice. All right. And we go out in a Sneasler. Please Psychic the Sneasler so I can get my Focus Sash. And we hit the Heat Wave this time. Okay. Just gotta keep trying. It's like the casino sometimes. We are able to knock out the Aerodactyl, which is great. Alright. What does Delphox click? Psychic into Sneasler. Perfect. Perfect. Super ideal turn. Yep, they crit me, which is fine. Okay, let's see. Do I have a guaranteed win? Or do I have a guaranteed way to win? I think it should be Garchomp back. I just gotta know if it's Scarf Garchomp. Yep. I think the way I guarantee win is by going for close combat into the Garchomp and just protect with my Delphox. If they protect the Garchomp, that's fine. Then I know it's not Scarf Garchomp, and then I can position a really nice offensive spot. They actually protect Delphox, which actually makes this a lot easier. I just wanted to know if it was Scarf Garchomp, but this works too. I think I have a way to guarantee the win then, because Substitute has been really nice on the Delphox here. So I get a huge close combat into Garchomp, which should put it in Psychic range easily. That close combat didn't do as much as I thought. Don't be one of the Citrus Berry Garchomps that I've been running around. I've seen like quite a few actually. Oh my goodness, it is. Okay. It's not over actually. They Rock Slide. So I last respect the Delphox because I know I'm faster than it. And then I Psychic. I don't think Garchomp can knock out the Basket this range. Unless it's Adamant and bulky. Let's go for Psychic and last respect. They have to get Del Protect with Delphox, and even then I could still win. Yeah, because with a speed tie, I still have odds. Oh, and they don't Double Protect, so I just guarantee win. Nice. Because last respect KOs the Delphox. The Garchomp can only either KO Basque. Potentially, I don't even know if they can KO Basque. It depends on the spread. And they also have to break sub on the Delphox. So here comes a Psychic. This will two-shot. Yep. And Dragon Claw going to come out into Basque. It does take the knockout. So they got Double Protect and got it. I think I would have probably came down to some eventual speed tie between the Delphoxes. But the thing is, I don't think they ever got damage in my sub. So I don't know if Psychic would even break my sub. So it might have just been me calling the targets correctly. Like I could go for Heat Wave probably a few times and probably have had a chance. It could have come down to a Delphox speed tie if the Garchomp breaks the sub as I go for like a Heat Wave to knock out the Delphox. But they could protect Delphox the next turn. I don't know. Definitely an interesting scenario, but thankfully we will take the win there, which is nice to say. All right, we have the Mega Delphox, it looks like on their side. Kingambit, the Basculegion, Eternal Floette, Aerodactyl, and Milotic. So we have all the Mega Evolutions here. I mean, it's a pretty similar team, but this is gonna be scary. Gonna be scary. I think we do... Do they lead Kingambit is the question. I think I'm willing to try out Delphox plus Basculegion. If they lead Kingambit, I'm willing to play some mind games against them. I think that's worth it. Yeah, I think we're going to try that. And then bring Sneasler and I think my own Gambit. Because Gambit's good at taking the Aerodactyl Rock Slides. I don't really have the best switch in for it. It also allows me to threaten the Basculegion, which is the more important one. And then Milotic, like if they go for Icy Wind and I catch the Icy Wind, it's amazing for me if they have it. Sneasler I need it for their Kingambit, so that's really necessary. Dragonite, you're being left behind, and I don't really need the Clefable, like, because I'm not trying to set up. It's only nice, like, against Kingambit because I can go for Follow Me Heat Wave safely, but I don't think I need it in this game. Aerodactyl Milo, so this is a pretty good lead for me. Okay, I can't eat berries. That's whatever. Trying to figure out. I think Arrow should always protect or swap here. The question is, what does the Milo do? It could be Mega Arrow, but that's 3 Megas. Like, you always have Mega Floette and you have Mega. You should only run 2 Megas max on the team. I think this play is probably just to go for a Psychic and a flip turn. I think I'm going to target down to Milo. Because I think Arrow protects, but let's see. Because otherwise Arrow gets blown up by flip turn plus an attack from Delphox, because Delphox is faster. So that's my guess here. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, perfect. So I get a flip turn off. This could be Icy Wind or this could be a water type move. Both make sense here. I want the damage into Milotic right away because the longer Milotic stays on the field, the more annoying it is. I go Kingambit because I don't want to lose my stash on Sneasler immediately because it could be valuable against their Kingambit. So we go for Psychic. That's a lot of damage. I was about to say, that's a crit. Okay. Citrus on the Milo. Perfect. Scald. Okay. I have good Spadaf, so it's not like that bad. That did a lot more than I expected, actually. Alright. Not too bad of a turn. They are going to get Tailwind up, though. Which is fine. Like, Delphox isn't like doing crazy amounts of work in this game. Other than, yeah, it's not doing crazy amounts of work in this game. So I think this is pretty acceptable. I kind of like just going for a Heat Wave plus Swords Dance in this situation, I think. Yeah, I don't mind going for Swords Dance. Like, the worst Milo can do is really just Scald here. A Heat Wave getting a burn on Arrow is nice. I could go for Psychic, which was a bit greedy, but I just wanted a bit of chip on both. I knew that they were probably clicking Tailwind and not Rock Slide, so this works out pretty well. Let's see if they Scalded my Delphox. No, they did target the Gambit, but that makes sense. They probably read Protect. What? Is that like max special attack? Okay, we both get burned. Sure. Like, the Milo's doing crazy amounts of damage. Is that, like, it's not Mystic Water, right? We sell lefties? That's just insane amount of damage from, no. Maybe it is Mystic Water. That Skull's just doing so much. It's either like max special attack or Mystic. Alright. I'm gonna go for Protect, and do I want to Sucker the Milo? Or do I want to Kowtow? Because they could recover. I guess they could Protect as well. I mean, Arrow. I had to dodge Rock Slide Flinch if I go for Kowtow, but I think going for Kowtow is worth it in a Milo. So I'm going to Protect. They are definitely going to Rock Slide. Are you recovering, or are you going for something else with the Milo? I guess I could have went for Sucker plus Psychic. But the Milo is probably faster than Delphox, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, they actually Scalded my Delphox. Interesting. All right, I get the Kowtow Cleave off into the Milo. So the Milo goes down, which is actually really nice. Okay, that's a good turn. We'll gladly take that. All right, let's see who comes out here. Could be a Mega. Their own Gambit. Okay. I don't mind their Gambit coming in. Are they faster than Delphox? No way. I think my best place is to set up a substitute and go for a Sucker Punch into the Arrow. Sucker Punch should KO Arrow at this range. And then we could set up a nice 2v2 or 2v3 situation or 2v4 situation. Yeah, get a Sucker Punch. They didn't Sucker Punch my Delphox, unfortunately. So are they actually fast? Are they like Sash Gambit? I've seen some Sash Gambits on the ladder. No, they would have just risked me going for Heat Wave. I guess they didn't consider Sucker Punch knocking out the Arrow, maybe. No, they went for a low kick. Okay, wait, that really works out for me. I'll take it. That's like best case scenario for me. Okay. Well, best case scenario would have been Heat Wave KO and I win a 3v1. Now it's a 3v2, but granted, a pretty good 3v2, I'd say. Delphox. Okay. Spooky, but pretty reasonable here. Because I can go for a Heat Wave. And a... Fake Out. This could get tricky. Actually, this could get tricky under some situations. But I mean, I always Fake Out the Delphox and Heat Wave here. They Protect. Is this Double Protect? Double Protect is... I think this is a call. I think the next turn is a call. Oh, this call is going to be really annoying. I really wish I clicked Heat Wave instead. I was like wondering why they went in Gambit when I could just threaten the... Because Delphox is faster than Gambit under Tailwind unless they have like max speed. I think this is Sucker Punch Psychic. Okay, so this is either Sucker Punch Heat Wave or Sucker Punch Psychic. I think my best play is just to Heat Wave and just go for Protect with the Sneasler. Actually, yes. It's just, do they Sucker Punch a Delphox and Heat Wave? I feel like they would Sucker Punch a Sneasler. Or they could Sucker Punch a Delphox and Psychic the Sneasler. If the Delphox is trained like mine, it could also just come down to speed type. There's so many implications of what ifs. I don't think there's like a guarantee lock here. Maybe if I Heat Wave close combat into the Gambit, it puts in range of Aqua Jet if I get the Heat Wave off. So maybe I should have went for it. Let's see. Oh, they didn't sucker. Wait, that's really good for me. Okay, I get the Heat Wave off. I think I win with Aqua Jet now. It could be down to call targets, but this is really good for me. They go for Psychic into the Sneasler. And they go for Kowtow into the Delphox. Okay, that works out. This could still be a Sucker Punch mind game and then an Aqua Jet target call. I'm trying to think if there's like a... Actually, I think the guarantee way to win this is just... No, I have to close combat the Gambit, yeah. Close combat the Gambit. They go for Sucker Punch. Oh yeah, they're going for the double up. Does he wave KO at this range actually? Yeah, I didn't think it did. Because Sneasler has a really good spit def. Okay, so Delphox goes down. I win the game of close combat into the Kingambit, and we will win. It was Chople, so I did need some chip damage, but granted, it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, I think close combat into Chople Kingambit puts it into range of Aqua Jet regardless from my Basculegion. But as long as there were no crits on the Sucker Punch Heat Wave, we were good. Battle gonna end to a forfeit because they realize Scarf Bass does win, so whew. Again, scary situation, but we will gladly take it. I don't know if there was like a better line. If I protect Delphox, can I do Aqua Jet, the Delphox plus Heat Wave? Maybe. It came down to double protects. It came down to Aqua Jet call reads. There was a lot in that endgame that could have gone wrong, but luckily nothing went wrong for us. Incineroar, Zoroark, Hisui with Mega Lopunny, Noivern, Garchomp, and Greninja. Alright, so Lopunny definitely going to be Mega Evolution. Greninja and Garchomp can be, but they're very unlikely to. There's a lot of interesting mons here, to say the least. Okay. Man, if this had loaded dice, would go crazy right now. Am I willing to give Dragonite a second chance? I don't know. There is the Lopunny, so I kind of don't want to bring Gambit. Sneasler's pretty decent here. Basque is alright. Clefable is actually pretty good. Like, it's a really strong fairy type into this team that doesn't really have the best answers to fairies. So what do I want to lead? Unfortunately, Lopunny is faster than Delphox, which is concerning. Could be Sneasler or Clefable. It is a bit weak to the Zoroark, though. Although, I don't really want to lead Basque in the lead. Actually, no. It's Delphox plus Clefable, I think, with Sneasler, Basque in the back. Oh. Am I going to make it? Okay, no, I had enough time. Okay. Like, Kingambit is just, like, it's okay. But I don't know about, like, hidden techs like low kick on the Greninja. Which could actually, like, be very concerning to Gambit. I don't know if it's a Mega Evolution or not, so that's going to be something that I'm going to have to play concerned about. Okay, Noivern Greninja versus Clefable Delphox. Now, I don't really know Mega Greninja that well, so this could be very concerning on the lead here. I actually wish I did lead Basque now. I don't know if I want to give them a free Tailwind. This could be physical Gunk Shot Greninja, and if it is, that'd be really bad for me. Would they go for that? I don't know. I think I'm just willing to throw off a Moonblast into Greninja and just protect turn 1. Like, it's either physical Greninja or there's a Super Fang hitting my way. So we'll find out which one it is. Okay, it's a Tailwind, so I feel safe-ish. I feel like I made the right call. Let's find out. Oh, Nasty Plot. Luckily, I'm unaware Clef, so I don't really have to worry about Nasty Plot on the Greninja. Moonblast also does a lot. That did less than I thought, actually. Oh, it's Zoroark. Okay. I was about to say, that did a lot less than I thought. Zoroark, interesting. I guess you get access to Hyper Voice. I think my best play is just to Moonblast the Noivern. Like, I want to bring everything to Sash, basically. And I think it's go Bask. Because this is... If they Nasty Plot, it's probably Hyper Voice coming out, right? You're not going to Ghost move on a Follow Me. So I think I'm just going to go Bask. And I want chip damage into Noivern. Because I want to bring everything to Sash. So once the Tailwind's over, I can outspeed with Delphox and clean up. It is Super Fang. But I do have even Citrus Berry number. They actually went for the Ghost move. I didn't expect them to go for the Ghost move. That's fine, I guess, though. Alright. It's not ideal, but, like, it's fine, I suppose. I do get a Moonblast off. Good damage. It's just a Greninja looks really tough depending on who is partnered with in the back. If they Hyper Voice now, I'll be upset, but... I mean, Delphox will be able to handle it, so I guess not too bad. I think we double protect. There is a world where they do go for a Nasty Plot, but do I think it's likely? Probably not. I also want to see if they're going to go for Bitter Malice again or not. They could also, like, Taunt Protect, which that's why I kind of want to go for this play. Of double protecting because it's super safe. They go for Super Fang into the Clefable once again and Bitter Malice once again. No, they go for Hyper Voice this time. I guess they called a Zoroark or was like willing to just go for Bitter Malice. Okay. Now we go for a Heat Wave, Mega Evolution, and Follow Me because they can't take the knockout into both at the same time. The only problem is what the last mon is. Also, Water Shaker's priority. I think Sneasler lives one, but if it's like Garchomp in the back, this could be very concerning. Let's see. I also need Clef to go down to Hyper Voice because I think if it doesn't, we actually might have a problem. Okay, they went for Bitter Malice, which is good. So I take less damage with my Delphox. Good. Ideally, Heat Wave connects. Nice. It doesn't KO Noivern, but it puts in range of another, which is important. And Zoroark goes down. Now we go into Sneasler. Wonder what the last mon is. We know it's Greninja, but we don't know what the final mon is afterward. Garchomp? Greninja comes out. Okay. I mean, my play is just to always fake out the Greninja and go for a Heat Wave. Or I could go for a super risky substitute plus fake out the Noivern. Yeah, I think I'm going to just make the safe play in Heat Wave. Greninja Mega Evolves. Let's see. What is Greninja's base speed? It's probably faster than my Delphox, I imagine. I imagine you're faster than Delphox in this situation. But yeah, we get a Heat Wave off. Actually, some really good damage. Okay. Oh wait, it's not faster than... Huh. It's not faster than Delphox. Interesting. Garchomp comes in. This is such an interesting endgame. Wait, is it Modest Gren actually? Because if it's Modest Gren, it was slower than my Delphox. Yeah, it was slower than my Delphox. So it should be Modest Greninja. Trying to figure out if it's Scarf Garchomp. I think Protect Psychic makes sense here for me. Or maybe it was just double protect. I was trying to figure out if there's a world where Greninja protects so they get the damage into Sneasler. It looks like I could have just went for a close combat protect. They went for Hydro. Actually, no, I can't win. Oh, man. Why am Monda's Greninja? I guess his damage is not that great. Rock Slide. Protect close combat won me the game. That's unfortunate. Or just close combat psychic in general, which I thought about. I was worried because I know this thing gets water shuriken. So I was worried about like, oh, are they going to protect the Greninja on the close combat, go for Stomping Tantrum, activate the Sash, and then like maybe then it's like then they can go for Water Shuriken the next turn into Sneasler. That's what I was worried about. I also didn't know if it was Scarf Chomp, and I was worried about Scarf Chomp endgame. Miss? Wait, do I lose to Rough Skin though? I KO'd the Greninja thanks to Hydro Pump miss. If they had any inaccurate move, they should have went for it. Well, actually no, because I guess I could close combat the Garchomp and knock it out. They do go for Earthquake, but I am Sash. Wait, they Earthquake their own Chomp or their own Greninja? I mean, I guess like I protected the last turn, so it was like really unlikely I go for a double anyway. Do I win? Because they've changed Rough Skin mechanic over the years, and I'm actually not sure if they changed it again. Because I think close combat KOs a Chomp. I don't know if the Rough Skin takes me out or the Garchomp goes down before. Because back in like when we used to have Mega Evolutions in XY, the Garchomp would win with the Rough Skin recoil. But now I think they changed it. Yeah, because Garchomp goes down and then I took the Rough Skin. So I actually win this off the Hydro Pump miss. I think. Which it's actually funny because it's a change that I was like not fond of, but you know what? I'll take it. They did have to land a few Hydros to win that one anyway. I'm kind of shocked about how that one worked. I'm trying to figure out if there was a better line. The thing is, I don't know if Mega Greninja runs Water Shuriken. I was really scared of Water Shuriken endgame, which is why I was like trying to figure out, oh, is there a line against that? Is the Scarf Chomp? Can they Stomping Tantrum, protect the Greninja? And then if I go for a close combat and Psychic, right? Like if I close combat Greninja, Psychic the Garchomp, then they can go for like Water Shuriken. They can go for a Stomping Tantrum themselves. But I guess if they're Scarf Garchomp, they might not like worry about Sash because a Wide Herb has probably been more of the common item on Sneasler. So maybe it was still better to go for Protect close combat anyway instead. Or if I went for Psychic close combat, I would have won that position as well. So I guess those were two plays that I could have just gone for as well. So how was the team? I think other than Dragonite, because man, Dragonite has been the most disappointing Pokemon I've ever used. Yes, I think the rest was really solid. I really did enjoy the Delphox. I think Substitute Delphox was super sick. It's really applicable, especially in a lot of situations. It's really cool against like the Garchomp plus the Charizard Y combinations. Again, good against a lot of the common Megas that we see in the format, especially like those top 3 that we would generally see. We had the Basculegion, which adaptability is just so disgusting on its damage output sometimes with that last respect. The Sneasler, that mon is broken. Kingambit, super solid option. And then Clefable, I think that redirect option is just really nice for the team, especially again, for the Kingambit and the Delphox. I'm not going to say anything about Dragonite. It has disappointed me. So that is going to be how we tried it. Was Delphox good? I actually think it's actually pretty solid. I think it's like definitely one of the better Mega Evolutions out there that we got from ZA. So if you do want to try it out, make sure you try it out with this replica right here if you want to grab it. And you could, again, check out the creator down below in the description, and you could go subscribe to the channel for more VGC content. As always, you could go check out my latest videos, like for instance, the Mega Glamora team that I showcased, the Mega Scovillain, or the Mega Meganium teams, which we have all videos about